There's no better way to make a comeback in professional wrestling than at Wembley Stadium. So I got the pleasure to sit down with the one and only Jamie Hayter, who's back in AEW. Jamie Hayter, back in the house.
I'm here. I've come again.
Are they gonna cut that? Jamie Hayter, she's back. I just felt like I needed to add a little punch in there.
I appreciate that. I like that. It works for me.
Oh my gosh, you're back. How do you feel? You look amazing.
Thank you so much. I feel 200%.
Yes.
Not 100, 200. I feel better than ever.
Did some of, I mean, of course we'll get into your healing and all that, but I'm sure being able to make your triumphant return, Wembley Stadium, like what a moment. Talk to me about what that day looked like for you to get ready for that return.
Well, I definitely had a couple panic attacks.
Oh, love those.
I was so nervous, but so happy to be back. I don't think anything could have been better than home. Nothing beats home, does it?
No, nothing does.
Nothing. So it's a great moment. My family were in the crowd as well.
Yeah.
They haven't seen me do anything wrestling related in the UK since 2017 in
Oh,
front of
wow.
maybe 20 people in a little community centre in Southampton. So
They
it was
must have flipped out when that whole stadium started
did.
screaming.
Yeah,
for
my
you.
mum said her arthritis hurt after. She was clapping away. It was an exciting day. Yeah, it was really fun.
What is that? I can't even imagine what that adrenaline is like to have that many people screaming your name like that and begging for you to be there. Did you get to kind of soak that in, or was it all sort of like a blackout moment?
It's weird because you can almost hear it, but everything's so muffled.
Right.
I have that like tunnel vision whenever I go out there where I don't really hear anything, and you almost kind of don't acknowledge it, but like after the fact, you're like, oh, that was fantastic.
Yes.
The adrenaline kind of takes over, I think. Especially with me, it's all consuming.
It was just so wild. Like I was out there doing 0 hours, so we had like our desk set up and like waiting for this moment to happen was like just incredible. Why Saraya? Do you have sights set on Saraya now? Are we allowed to get into some of that of why you kind of aimed at her?
I have my sights set on a couple of people.
Okay.
I'm not gonna reveal who they are because I think it could be quite obvious if people take a think and take a look back at what happened when I was here before.
Yep.
That could give them a bit of an inclination as to why I might have gone after Saraya in that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you catch my drift?
I am catching your drift. I'm with you 1,000%. Very excited to see how this all kind of unfolds. But, you know, AEW has changed so much in your absence. The women's division has changed so much. When you were at home kind of watching how this was all shaking out, how were you kind of figuring that you were going to factor back in?
Honestly, I didn't know. On the day, I didn't even know at that time, where will I fit back in? What am I going to do? But I think I do have an idea of how I'm going to fit back in. And this isn't about accolades or going after titles or anything like that. It's righting wrongs.
Okay.
Because
a vendetta.
A vendetta. I sometimes forgive, but I definitely don't forget.
Okay. Okay. Were you able to do some soul searching or anything when you're at home?
Absolutely.
What does that look like when you're kind of holed up, you're dealing with an injury, you're not really sure what the future looks like for you? I mean, that's got to be a pretty mindful space to be in.
It really is. It's a lonely place.
Yeah. It's
an uncomfortable place. It's a lot of inner work, I think, and that's something that I had not really ever done before.
Nothing like being forced to do it.
Exactly. It almost was reminiscent for me for the pandemic, because I remember I was in the UK, I had like minus in my bank account, I didn't have anything going for me, and I was watching AEW and just so desperate to be there, and then it happened.
Yeah.
And then coming here and then really trying my best to work my way up that mountain to then fall very hard down that mountain at the bottom again. It was quite something.
It's so crazy how this business so works like that. It's so cyclical. You're up, you're down, you're in, you're out. You're not really sure where you stand. And then, you know, having to be put on the shelf and, you know, not for a short period of time.
For a very long time.
For a very long time. Was there ever moments that you thought maybe you weren't going to come back?
Absolutely. And that sometimes it wasn't necessarily the injury. It was, I don't know if I want to. You know, it got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I even want to do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it was just the pain and, you know, everything that had happened. I just really wasn't sure. It's almost like I had to find myself again, find my purpose and find my passion to do it again.
What were the things that you were able to kind of sink your teeth back into to make you excited to come back and to feel like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to put in the work to come back and be Jamie Hayter and come out and do your thing?
I think when the pain from my injury kind of subsided a little bit, that's when I could see the light a little bit more. When I was in pain constantly, it was not a fun injury. I was bedbound for months. I couldn't do anything. All I had was just like, you know, I could watch stuff on my phone and lay in bed and read some books and things like that. But when the pain subsided, I could start moving again. And I think for me personally, being physical, that's my enjoyment. That's what I do best. So getting back into a gym, the first time I got back into a ring, I felt alive again. The first time I hit my body on the mat again, it felt good.
There she
Painful,
is.
but felt good.
Yeah, good pain.
Yeah,
a good pain.
It was honestly just being back in the ring again because I couldn't visualize myself in it. I watched AEW at home and I just couldn't imagine myself doing it. I couldn't imagine myself being in front of however many people. It was a really weird space to be in, but I think when the cogs start turning again and things start falling into place and you just kind of get into that mindset where you're like, no, wait, I can and I want to.
It's really funny when you are taken out of a situation, you're like, how did I used to do that?
Right, you forget. It's like learning to ride a bike. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, how does it work? I don't know.
Okay, so talk to me about the injury. What was the actual diagnosis that you got?
So I completely herniated 2 discs in my back. I wasn't even aware of the injury until it was really bad, until I couldn't walk. I couldn't even stand up straight. My body was at an angle.
Oh,
I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't cough. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stand in the shower. I couldn't lay down on my back. I couldn't do really anything.
Oh, my God.
And I thought it was like a sciatica at first, and I kept going to the gym. I kept wrestling. I did a skydive on my birthday because I felt really good that day. And I was like,
sort it out.
Yeah, I was like, I really want to do it, so I'm going to do it. And then, you know, after that, I was like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because I wasn't aware of like the significance of the injury until I just couldn't walk, and I just had to, you know, call it. I was like, I can't do this. I'm in too much pain 24/7. It would wake me up in the middle of the night.
It's like not a way to live. You can't exist like that.
Awful. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, honestly.
And if they are here, we'll find out about.
Many of them are here.
They are
many
here.
of them.
What was it like actually getting in to go and talk to the doctor and kind of get hit with the reality of just how serious this injury was?
Do you know, it wasn't too bad. I was happy because I was not in the know for so long, and I just really wanted to know what it was, and I wanted to get on the road to recovery. It was a bad place to be in. The recovery was hard, but it was really good to know like what it was. So now, if it ever happens again, I kind of know what to look out for. I know the signs and things like that. I'm just glad I didn't have to have a surgery or anything.
Of course.
Just physical therapy, lots of back injections, and then we're good to go, baby.
Thank God. Good to go. So now, good to go. We are here. We just saw you at Wembley. We're now here in Champaign, Illinois for when this airs. You're going right into your first match.
Absolutely. I don't think I'd want it any other way.
You can't hesitate.
I'm all or nothing.
It.
I need to give 100% anytime, go all out.
What is the thing about AEW that you're most excited about right now as we talk about all the different changes and all these different things that we've been able to see?
I'm just looking forward to being amongst it all again. I'm just excited to be back. Like you said, so many changes have happened here and I haven't experienced any of them yet.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm the new girl at school and I'm just coming back and kind of figuring it all out again. So I'm excited to do that. And honestly, I'm just excited to wrestle. Throw some girls around, you know, do what I do.
Yep. Love it. Well, I'm so happy you're back. This is a great outfit to come back to work in. You look like $1,000,000.
So do you.
Thank you.
Don't we just look great, both of us?
Look at us go, guys. Jamie Hayter's back, guys.